Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Very warm welcome to all of you this Monday morning. I hope you guys had a fantastic week and a fantastic month. And now you're ready to have an absolutely incredible month of November. This is one of the biggest months in business. So I hope you're prepared. I hope you're fired up. I hope you're committed. I hope you're all out for this month of November. And to help you with that, I wanted to run this webinar this morning on recruiting, on basically what to say, how to say it, and who to say it to really attract a lot of people and to pique interest of a lot of people about our business, about our products, but most importantly, the business opportunity, right? Because that's the key to driving your business forward is building your team and building your organization. And the only way to do that is by recruiting people. Sales is great. Sales can give you some immediate income, some cash on hands, etc. But that's not the key of this business. That's not the concept of this business. It's network marketing, as in building a network, right? So the biggest money, biggest income potential is in building a large group. So, but a lot of people, they're okay with recommending the products to their friends and family, but they don't really know how to pique interest of people, how to get people curious, and how to get people raising their hand and saying, you know what, I want to learn more about this. You know, what is this you're doing? You know, what is this that you're talking about, etc. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do today. Is give you some specific word-for-word scripts that you can actually use when talking to people face-to-face. So it's for the person you met in a queue in a bank. It's for the person you're sitting next to on the train or on a bus or whatever. And also you can use these in online world. Talking to people on Facebook and other social platforms, etc. So you can actually use that. Also to in social media to recruit people via messages, Facebook messages, emails, WhatsApp, you name it. So you can use these scripts on any environment because it's not the exact wording that matters. It's the way it comes across. It's the way that it sounds, etc. Okay, so just before we get going, guys, if you can just see on the right hand side, you should see the chat box there. So if you click on the chat box, you can actually ask questions. So as I'm going to be going through the scripts today, you're more than welcome. If you have a question about anything to do with what we're talking here today about, you can type in the questions, and I'm going to read out those questions at the end of the training. But also, if you can just quickly give a shout on there if you can hear me okay, so that I'm not talking to the void. I can see a bunch of people on the call. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Miriam. Hello, Jeffrey, Lucas, Vitze, Carol, Rose, Liane, Dario, Cynthia, Helen, Marge, Mary, Louise, and a bunch of other people. Welcome, 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 welcome this morning, guys. Hope you're fired up and ready to go. So let me just quickly share my screen so you can actually see. Start screen share. Okay, so you should be able to, let me just double check. Yeah, you should be able to see my slide now in front of you. So today's topic is how to recruit like a champion. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the support and practice approach first. So again, one of the things I always teach people when you first get started, the best way to approach your friends and family and people that you already know is by using support and practice approach. What I mean by that, it's a really, really good approach for people who are just getting started. So if you're one of those people, then listen up. If you're not that new, you can still use some of that. So basically, the way that comes across is when somebody gets first started in the business, I go, look, when you talk to your friends and family, tell them, look, I don't want to recruit you. I don't want to sell anything to you, but I'm just getting started in this business and I need your support. Can you please come to my business opportunity presentation and listen to the business opportunity presentation and let me know what you think of it. I'm not quite sure. I'm just getting started, so I just wanted to check with you, and tell me what do you think about it, etc. So just support me. Just come and see what it is all about, etc. So I always say it's almost like when you if you imagine you were opening a brand new restaurant next month. Right, you would call everybody, then you guys, please be there when we cut the ribbon, when we open the doors to this new restaurant. Just be there because we want your support. So exactly the same way you want to approach people about your home-based business. You go, hey, I'm just getting started. I need your support. Can you please come and have a look at it? It may be for you, maybe not for you, maybe for somebody, but just can you come and have a look at it and let me know what you think about it? Okay, I need your support. Okay, so that's one. Practice, on the other hand, is again, once you've learned a little bit about the products and you've learned a little bit about the business, again, you can contact friends, family, and people that you know and go, look, I've just got started in my own home-based business and I need to practice on some people my presentation skills. I'd prefer to practice on friendly faces instead of going out there talking to strangers. So would it be okay if I practiced on you? Would it be okay if we met up this evening or tomorrow or on weekend or whatever, and I practice my presentation on you? You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to, join anything or anything like that. I just want you to listen to me practicing and give me feedback. Would that be okay? And again, it's a beautiful way where they go, yeah, no problem. I'll listen. You can practice on me. But guess what? By the time you finish practicing your business opportunity presentation on them, they're joining your business. Or by the time you finish practicing demonstrating them the product, they're buying your product. So it's a beautiful way of approaching people that you already know without them feeling pressurized, without them feeling, on the spot or whatever to buy something now or to join something now, etc. But make sure with both support and practice approach that you don't come hard selling them at the end of the presentation, because you just said to them, look, I'm not going to try and sell your recruit. So if they go, hey, this is amazing, can I join you? Then yeah, no problem. But don't come across as, so you're joining now, you said you're going to practice on me, why are you trying to, whatever. So try to be gentle on them by the end of it. Okay. All right, the number two strategy that I'm going to share with you is what we call the 8-step GoPro formula. All right, so those of you who've been to my essential training, you know about the 8-step GoPro formula. So this formula goes like this. Step number one is be in a hurry. Right, so when you imagine you met somebody in a bus stop, or you met somebody nice in a shop or in a restaurant, they served you nicely or whatever, you're going to use this formula, right? So number one, you want to be in a hurry. Now, the reason why you want to be in a hurry is that you get less questions and less objections. You see, if I didn't tell you that I'm in a rush, then you're going to go, but what is it? So tell me more about it now. What is the company called? What is your product? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to give you 10 million questions. So you want to get rid of that straight away by saying, look, I'm in a rush now. I'm about to go on a conference call, or I'm about to go in a meeting, but it was really important. I just wanted to speak to you real quick. Okay. If you say that, that'll eliminate half of the questions. Step number two in the 8-step formula is compliment the prospect. You want to be complimenting people. So if somebody serves you nicely in a restaurant, in a cafe, go, hey, you really given me some of the best service I've ever received. You're absolutely amazing at this, etc. So compliment them, right? Or whatever, compliment their tie, their shoes, their dress, their appearance, their smile, whatever, right? Compliment the person. Everybody likes to be complimented. I haven't met a person who doesn't like to be complimented. Right? So give them a compliment, and that will help. This will build an instant rapport. Step number three is make the invitation. So this is where you're going to invite them to have a look either at a presentation. So, hey, I wanted to invite you to a business opportunity presentation or whatever, or you're going to invite them to have a look at the tool, which might be a website or a CD or a DVD or a brochure or whatever, right? So you're going to invite them. Okay, so and step number four then is if I would you. So what I mean by that is this gives you posture. This puts you in control. So it would sound something like, if I gave you a DVD, would you watch it? If I gave you a link to a website that will explain all of this, would you go there and have a look at it, etc. What this does, it puts you in a control, which means I haven't given it to you yet, but if I was to give it to you, would you watch it? And if they go, no, I wouldn't watch it, then you go, hey, no problem, have a great day, because I haven't given it to you anyway, right? So this way basically puts in the control. And then you have step 5, step 6, and step 7 is confirmation. So for example, if I said, hey, Anne Rose, if I gave you this DVD, would you watch it? And she goes, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I go, great. So confirmation number 1, I'll go, when do you think you will watch it for sure? And she goes, maybe tonight. I go, awesome. And if I gave you a call tomorrow, so this is my confirmation number 2 now. If I gave you a call tomorrow, we can talk about that, right? And she goes, yeah, sure. And then I go, so what time would be the best time to call you? That's my confirmation number 3. And she goes, call me about 11 o'clock. I go, awesome. So these are the 3 confirmation. Now, the reason why you want to do these confirmations is to solidify their commitment to watch it. Because if you said, if I give you a link, would you go there? And they go, yeah. Have they committed to it? No, really, because they intend to go there sometime between now and forever, right? So they might not go there as fast as you would like them to go there. So by doing the confirmations, you're solidifying this to when are you going to watch it? Okay, great. So I'm going to call you and we're going to talk about it. So now they are almost forced to watch it because they know that you're going to be calling them and talking about it. And then step number 8 is stop talking. Right? Because remember, you are in a hurry, right? So even if you built a really good rapport, even if you see that they're really positive, really motivated, don't go in a 2-hour presentation right there and then. Go, great, and leave them on a high. Leave them while they go, wow, this is interesting. I can't wait to see this presentation, or I can't wait to see this meeting, etc. Right? So you stop talking and you go off because you're in a rush, right? So you go, hey, great, fantastic, I'll see you there, but I have to run now. Bye. And this way, that's the 8-step formula, right? So be in a hurry, compliment the prospect, make the invitation. If I would you, confirmation number 1, confirmation number 2, and confirmation number 3, and then you stop talking. Okay, so that's the 8-step formula. Now, the third approach, and guys, I'm sharing a lot of different scripts with you today. So what I want you to do is basically pick and choose the stuff that you think would work the best for you, right? Or in different situations, you might be, you might want to use different type of approach, etc. So I'm giving you a couple to choose from, which they all work perfectly well. So this way you can sort of pick and choose and think what works the best. Okay, so the approach number 3 that I wanted to share with you today is what we call a $1 million question. And again, this comes from a network marketer who made over $45 million in his career in this business, right? So this stuff works, guys. This stuff doesn't come from the books. This stuff comes from practicing, okay? So this is called a $1 million question. And basically, the premise of this way of approaching somebody is asking for help. Okay, so again, a lot of people, they are afraid of, or they don't know how to ask for help, right? So the way this comes across look, the premise of this is you're gonna ask them to do you a massive favor. So let me actually go through the script just to give you an impression how it would sound. So imagine I'm calling somebody, or I'm talking to somebody face to face somewhere, or I'm messaging, etc. Right? So the way this works is obviously you want to build some rapport with that person before you go into this, okay? So don't start with this where you're going to go, hey, could you do me a massive person? You don't start with that because they don't know you, So if you approach somebody and you start with that, you go, hey, could you do me a massive favor? They're going to go, who the hell are you? Why are you asking me for favors? So obviously this comes after you built a little bit of rapport. So maybe you had a quick chit chat. Maybe you've been asking them some questions, and I'll talk a little bit later on when we talk about the process about how to build the rapport and what sort of questions to ask and how to get into a conversation with somebody. But this would go something like, you'd go, hey, listen, I'm really super excited. I've just found a company and I'm going to help them expand. And I was wondering if you could do me a huge personal favor. Okay, so they go, okay, what is it? And you can go, hey, I met this guy or I met this girl. They're really successful in this business. The incredible person, and I'm working with that person directly. And get this, not only that person is, making this type of income, at the top of the company, etc., but now they are expanding the business, right? And they're looking for people, right? So if I could send you a video, would you please help me out and watch the video, because I know for the fact that you're going to know some people that I can help. Okay, so could you do me this huge favor and watch that video that I send you? And most people, they'll go, Yeah, sure, that's no problem, right? So this is what we call indirect approach. You're not saying, hey, do you need some extra money? Do you need some extra cash? What you're saying here is you go, hey, could you do me a massive personal favor? I'm expanding a company, and we are looking for people who want to earn a part-time income or even a full-time income. And if I sent you a video about our company, about our products, and how one can earn the money, I'm sure you will think of some people I could help to make some extra money. Could I do that? Could I send you the video, and would you be able to watch it? Right? Could you do me this favor? Right? Now, when you say, could you do me a massive personal favor, they're thinking what? You're probably going to ask for money or something like that. So when you ask for something like this, they go, sure, no problem. Yeah, I'll watch the video, and I'll think of somebody who I could recommend. But guess what? Chances are they'll look at that and they'll go, you know what, I'm interested. How do I join? How do I get this extra money, etc. Right? So it's really, really, really good approach. Another, another option where you could use this is like meeting people, street meeting somebody, and imagine you met somebody on the street and you go, hey, listen, do you work around here? And they go, yeah, I just work down the road. Great. I was wondering if you could do me a huge personal favor and help me out. And they go, yeah, what is it, right? And you go, look, I'm working with a gentleman who's expanding a large company in this area, and he's looking for individuals that would like to supplement their income or totally replace their income. Do you know anyone like this? And they might go, yeah, what is it? And you go, why? Are you interested? And they go, yeah. Well, a lot of them will say, well, it depends. What is it, right? So you go, well, listen, I know you're busy, and so am I. So can I get your phone number? And what I'll do, I'll give you a call. I'll give you my phone number as well. And I can give you a call later on tonight, and we can talk a little bit about what we are doing. You can tell me a little bit about what you are looking for. And if we both, like each other, we will set up a time for a meeting. How does that sound? So it's a really, really simple way of approaching somebody. Or you could go, can I have your name and can I have your number and email? I'll send you a video that'll explain all of that. And once you watch it, then we can have a chat. How does that sound? So it's really just about making a conversation, approaching that person, and really getting them curious. But the key here in the $1 million question is, could I ask for a massive personal favor? Right? Because what this does, you basically, you're being humble here. Okay? A lot of people in network marketing, they are like the top shot. They are like, full of themselves. They are like, look at my ego, etc. I'm a $1 million business person, etc. And for some people, that might be just a little bit too much. That's a little bit off-putting, just a little bit rubbing your nose in it, etc. So when you come across and you go, hey, could you do me a massive personal favor? They go, look, this person needs help, right? I mean, let me see if I can help them, right? So it's another approach, and it's a great approach. Okay, so and again, guess what, this works online too. I use this online as well, where I'd go, hey, could you do me a massive personal favor? And they go, well, what is it? And then I go into that. I'm expanding a company in your area, and I'm looking for people who want to either earn a part-time extra income, or they want to earn a full-time income. And if I send you a video, I'm sure you would think of some people I could help. So would it be okay if I send it to you? And 9 times out of 10, they'll go, yeah, no problem, send it to me. I'll have a look at it, etc. So, and I've had people who watch the video and then they recommend me other people, right? I get people contacting me, on Facebook or WhatsApp saying, hey, I heard you're looking for people. Right? I go, yeah, sure. So it's really, really, really cool way of approaching people. All right, the fourth method that I'm going to share with you today is what we call CCQTTC. And again, this comes from one of the top recruiters in his company. And basically, what do these letters stand for? So it stands for complement, converse, qualify, transition, takeaway, and close. Okay, so let me take you through the steps just to give you an idea how would that sound like. So again, you can use this face-to-face. This actually works. This one works very, very well face-to-face. When you meet somebody, you know, face-to-face, and you're just chatting to them, etc. It works very well. So number one is compliment, right? So you want to compliment the person, as we said earlier on, because it opens this door to communication. So you go, hey, you look super smart, you know, or hey, you know, I love your smile, you know, whatever, right? You find something to compliment them on where they go, you know, they're happy with that, you know, that builds a relationship. The number two is converse. So the reason why you have converse there, that you wouldn't appear as a shark, you wouldn't appear as a hunter, where you just came at them just to recruit them, just to sell them something, etc. So you want to make this as smooth and as natural as possible. So the conversing part is where basically you start to build a relationship with them by having a small chit chat, right? And what this does, it also gives you an opportunity to listen in on what drives them, or why might they be interested or open to what your product or your opportunity has to offer to them. Okay, so this first small chit chat will help you to do that. You know, so some of the things, you know, that I use is, you know, one of the best questions to ask a person is, what do you do for a living? Because you can get a lot out of that question. You know, they can tell you more about what do they do for a living. They might tell you why they hate their job. They might tell you that they're not being paid enough in their job, etc. So just be really genuinely interested and listen in. What is it that they do for a living? Or they might be successful at what they do and they're earning good money, but they might be in a position where they could be extremely successful in network marketing. Imagine you talk to somebody and they go, well, I run a team of 500 people. Guess what? You can go, well, wow. I mean, you could do very whatever, right? And we'll talk about transitioning in a minute. But this way, basically, you're picking up information that will help you to sort of, you know, to show them the business. Okay. The number three is qualify. So as you're talking to them, you want to ask questions that they will qualify themselves to you. You know, so you get them talking about themselves and even bragging. You know, you want them to be bragging about themselves, how successful they are, what they've achieved, you know, or whatever, because that will help you to say, hey, well, saying that, you know, that's a big thing, you know, that could work for you in this business too. You know, you want to identify factors that make them qualified or special to hear about your opportunity, right? And I always say that at this point, you want to seek to be impressed and not to be the impressor. Too many people want to impress people about the business, about their opportunity, etc. At this point in time, you don't want to be impressor. You want to be impressed by them. You want to be thinking and digging in your brain, thinking, why is this person good for my business? Are they good for my business? Do I want to work with this person? Why? Because guess what? If you recruit them and you're going to go to the top with them, guess what? You're going to be working with them for a long time. So straight away there and then you have to make a decision. Is this the person I want to be working with for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years in my business, right? And build something big with this person, you know, or is this person, you know, not really the person that I'd like to work with, right? Okay, then step number 4 in here is transition, the T, the first T. So the transition is basically where you transition now from small chit chat to talking to them about the business. So you could use something like, well, based on what you just said, or based on what you just told me, it sounds like you might be open to earning some extra income, or you might be really, really good at, you know, communicating or running a team of people, and we're actually looking for people like that, right? Or you could, the number 2, you can say our company is looking for people with experience in HR, or our company is looking for people with, you know, jobs where they have access to a lot of people, or our company is looking for people who are not being paid enough in their job, etc. So basically, you're going to transition. So you're going to use something that they said earlier on to transition into telling them about the business, right? So this will come across as a natural process. It's not going to sound as if you just started the conversation with them just to show them your business, because you had this conversation with them, and now something that they say, you go, well, because you just said that, I wanted to share something with you, right? So this becomes this natural, smooth process, right? You know, one of the things you could use something like, if you saw a way where you could make some pretty serious money on the side of what you do, and it didn't interfere with what you're already doing, would that be something you would be interested in? Okay, and this is beautiful for people who give you an objection of going, oh, I have no time, or I have whatever, right? You go, no, you probably didn't hear me right. If it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing, would you be? But you don't understand. I work like 90 hours a week, etc. You go, yeah, I understand that. But if it didn't interfere, would you be open to that, right? And I go, well, okay, if it didn't interfere, I would be. All right, awesome. Let me show, all right? Because it doesn't really matter what did they do. Even if they do a 100-hour week, guess what? They can still do network marketing on the side and earn some extra money, and maybe even use network marketing to start reducing the amount of time they have to go to work, etc. So, you can use that, okay? Okay, so the second T is takeaway. So this is where you're going to take it away, and it's like I always say, it's like the cat with the string. If you just drop the string in front of the cat, it's not going to be interested very much in it. But if you keep moving the string, the cat will be interested, and it'll be excited, and they will be playing with the string. So same here, you don't want to make it too easy for them. So at this point, what you want to say, once they said, yeah, I'm interested, send me some information, or let's meet up, or whatever, you can go, hey, I can't promise you anything, but I'll send you the video, and then we can take it from there. Or, I can't promise you, I'm not the biggest decision maker in here, but we'll see what we can do for you. Okay, so this almost puts it where, like, it's not for everybody. I'm still haven't decided yet if you are the person that I want to work with, right? So it's a really, really nice takeaway. And then the last one, the C, is close. So basically, number one, you tell the person what to do and what you intend to do. So for example, like even with asking the telephone number of the person or email, you want to tell them exactly what you're going to do with those details, especially if it's like a guy talking to a lady. You want to make sure that she understands that you're not trying to get a date with her, or whatever. It's business, right? So you want to say something like, hey, let me grab your name and number and your email. I'll send you the video, and once you had a look at it, I'll give you a call on this number just to have a chat about that. Okay, so they know that you're not going to be spamming them or whatever, passing those details to somebody else. You're just going to send them the information and give them a call later on, and explain the process you'll be taking them through. Okay, and remember, be in a rush. Once you got the number or their email, etc., go away. Leave them at what we call peak, on a high note, right? Don't go, like I said earlier on, into another conversation now for 3 hours because they're really excited and a nice person. You don't want to start doing a presentation on the street, or you don't want to start doing a presentation there and then. You want to make an appointment and leave, okay? Because you want to leave them on this high note whilst they're still interested to learn more about what is it that you do, okay? I hope this is making sense, guys. I hope you're getting some value from these scripts, okay? And then the last thing I wanted to talk quickly today is the process. So what I meant by that is you want to build a relationship. So whenever I'm, whether I met a person on a street or in a restaurant or in a shop or on a train or on an airplane, or if I'm chatting to somebody online, I'm going to first build a little bit of relationship with them, right? So I will ask them questions. I'll go, like, imagine if I'm chatting to somebody online, I'll start by asking them questions like, where are you from? What do you do for a living? How long you've been doing that? Okay, so if they go, yeah, I'm a teacher, I'll go, awesome. How long you been doing that? They go 20 years or whatever. So I'll start building this relationship with them, right? And I have a little bit of a conversation before I go into showing them the business. But also what will happen as part of this process, very often they will ask you too. So they will ask me, they'll say, but so what is it that you do? And I go, well, I teach people how to have a home-based business and earn either an extra income or a full-time income, right? And full stop. Many of you want to carry on with this now. You want to do a 5-hour present, but I just stop. I send that message and I see the reaction. So some of them might go, wow, that's cool. Wow, that's interesting. Can you teach me? Very often I get that, they go, can you teach me? Can you tell me more about that? And then I'll go, well, if I send you a video about our company, about our products, and how, and different ways how you can make money with our business, would you be able to watch it? Or would you watch it? Or, would you be open to watching it? Or whatever. So remember, if I would you, right? And they go, yeah, sure, I would watch it. I have internet access, etc. I go, awesome. Here's the video link. Have a look at it and let me know once you watched it. And I send them the video. Now, once they watch that, then I can carry on with the conversation and go, hey, what did you like the best from it? I'm not going to go, what do you think of it? Because that invites critic. I'll go, what did you like the best of it? Oh, I love the money part. Or I love the products. Or I like how you can help people. I like the affordability of the, or whatever, right? And then I can start probing them. I can ask questions going like, would you see yourself as a seller, or would you see yourself as a team builder? Oh, both, or I'd start as a seller and then maybe I'll become a team builder, or, oh, absolutely, team building. So I can start gauging them. Where are they? How interested are they? Etc. And again, I'm using a third-party tool. I'm using a video, right? Or I'm using a website. So you don't want to be the deal. You want to make this as simple as possible, because as soon as I recruited that person now, I can go, look, you can do exactly the same thing. You can now send the same messages that I sent to you with the same video, show them the same video, and then do exactly the same thing. Recruit them in exactly the same. So it's duplicatable. It's repeatable, right? I'm not doing something that they could not do. I'm just sending a message to them on Facebook, right? So it's really simple process which can be duplicated and by other people. They can do exactly the same thing, okay? So I hope this is making sense to you guys. So basically this way you're creating this process, right? And then you're taking them step by step. If they go, yeah, I'm ready to join, what's the process? Then you can go, okay, so this is the process. What we need to do is get you registered, and then, there's a sample kit, these are the different sample kits that we have, etc. Which one do you think you'd go for, blah, blah, blah. And you can basically be building a relationship with them and taking them step by step through the whole process, getting them registered, getting them ordering their sample kit there and then, just by going through this conversation, by going and building this relationship, or you can then set an appointment with them. So at some point you might want to go, okay, so next step, I'd like to meet you at our office, or I'd like to meet you at a coffee shop, etc., where we can sit down. I can show you some samples of the products, and I can, we can talk more about the business, and then we can take it from there. How does that sound? Yeah, awesome. Let's meet up. Great. Our distributor center address is this, etc. Which day do you think you could come? I could come on Friday. Great. What time do you think you would come? So again, I'm doing my confirmations, right? I'm not just going, okay, let's meet sometime, someday, whatever. I want to ask them, so when do you think you could come to the office? Well, I could come next week. Which day? On Tuesday. Great. What time on Tuesday do you think you'll be there? Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Awesome. So I'll see you at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, blah, 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 right? So I'm building this, and I'm having these confirmations where it's concrete. I know when I'm going to talk to them. I know when I'm going to follow up with them, etc. And this way, you're basically taking them step by step, further, and closer to where they get registered and they become part of your team. And guess what? The process continues. As soon as they registered, guess what? You're adding them to your WhatsApp group, you're adding them to your Facebook group, you're adding them to your email list, you start sending them the training website, you start sending them the information and everything, right? So this continues, this relationship that you're building with them, etc. And this way you can sponsor people locally, but you can also sponsor people nationally and even internationally. I sponsor people in other countries, and they do the business, they sell the products, they start building their team, and they are thousands of miles away from me, right? But we still have this relationship, we have this communication on a daily basis with them, okay? Awesome, guys. So hope this you found this valuable. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to contact me after this webinar as well. You have a fantastic week. You have a fantastic month. We have big month, November, ahead of us. This is one of the biggest months in the year. So let's go at it 100%. All out to get some really new qualifications, new results, really fantastic month. Okay, guys, have a fantastic day, and I will see you as always at the top.